Alright, what's up YouTube? This is Orasi. I'm bringing you a Dueling Network commentary. I wanted to try out Chaos Dragons, and I guess I just wanted to do it as my next YouTube vid. Now, this deck that I'm using is still incomplete. I mean, there are only 10 cards in the extra deck. I've got like no Veilers, no Maxi in here, so yeah, it really lacked a lot of the competitiveness. So I start off with Ryko, and tragically I hit a solar recharge. But the good side for him, he had Tengu, but he suspected Gores, so I'm guessing that's why he didn't attack. So my turn, I just summoned Jane, and I just attack over it, and he summons Trag off of it. So I thought that was kind of sucky, but I milled 2, and I hit another recharge and a second pulsar. So the pros, I hit 2 pulsar. The cons, I hit 2 recharge. So yeah. So he uses Trag and runs over Jane. So my turn, I set Ryko and my turn, but he draws Mind Control and then uses it on Ryko. I would have thought he would have attacked with Trag first, and then if I had Gores or something, then just use Ryko to pop it. But I guess he didn't know about Ryko's optional effect and mandatory effects. Because he flipped summoned it and then destroyed his own Solemn Judgment, milled 3, then summoned Debris Dragon. However, Ryko's mill effect is mandatory, but the destruction effect is optional. So, right then I was guessing he wasn't that on point with rulings and such. But it was alright, I didn't make a big deal out of it, I just let him do whatever. So he attacks directly with Trag. I dropped Gores on that because I really did not feel like taking 2500 points of damage just to get a 2500 point token. I did not think it was worth it. So I drew Lila. Lila. And basically I just go into the battle phase and just attack over Trag because I felt as though that was the more dangerous of the two. Because if I chain attacks and I mill, then I just mill. That's just pluses for me. But he just ends his turn with nothing, and I draw Ryko. It was pretty awesome. But I summoned Lila. He immediately Veilers Lila, which led me to assume that he had a Chaos Monster in his hand, because no one Veilers something that fast. But at this point I was checking his graveyards for how many lights and how many darks, because I was fully expecting either Chaos Sork or BLS or something. So my end phase, I was asking him if he would allow Lila to mill. It was another ruling he wasn't on par with, because with Veiler, if you Veil an opponent's monster, if it's a Light Sworn, you can choose whether or not you want them to mill, because Veiler and the Light Sworn's mandatory mill both resolve at the end phase. Therefore, you can allow their monster to resolve first, and Veiler will auto-neg it so they don't mill, or you can resolve Veiler first and allow them to mill with their Light Sworn. But he let me mill, so I milled Wyvern, which let me grab Red MD, which was awesome. But he sacked for BLS. He took out both Lila and Gores, dealt a pretty good amount of damage, then set 2 back row. My turn, I was finally able to put that Heavy Storm to use. So hit it, and I hit his Pot of Duality and his Heavy Storm, which were both bluffs. And like, wow. So At this point, I was thinking really hard about what I could possibly do to get through this. So I go into Divine Dragon Apocryph. I discard Drag because there was no way it'd be useful for me at this time. So, and I was judging between either Dark Flare or Pulsar because I was really thinking about what combos I could possibly use to power through this. I was opting like if I pick Dark Flare, then what I could banish. I was thinking about Iron Chain or Debris Dragon or Tengu. I mean Torgai, not Tengu. But on the other hand, if I pick Pulsar, then if it's just somehow destroyed, I can get Dark Flare back. So I opted for Light Pulsar. And of course I banished Wyvern and Gores to SS Pulsar. I banished Gores because I did not want them to Monster Reborn it, so Wyvern added Red MD to my hand, and I was thinking about SSing Red MD, but unfortunately I do not have rank 6s at the time. I was thinking about adding them in, but I decided not to, just to see how the deck would perform without the options. So I would have accessed Red MD and go SS the other Light Pulsar and then gone into like Exabeetle just to get rid of BLS. But I did not have that option, so I did not want to just SS Red MD without a thought, just to use that as a wall, because BLS could easily banish it, and that would make it much more difficult to carry on the fight. Alright, so therefore I was concentrating on just ending my turn right then and there, but then I was like, okay, what in my deck could I possibly use to get over BLS? Only two cards came to mind. Those were Dark Hole and Dark Arm Dragon. And the only way I would be able to get Dark Arm Dragon is if I got Eclipse Wyvern that was in my deck to the graveyard, and the only thing that could get that accomplished at this point was Dark Flare Dragon. So, believe it or not, I actually did something that was kind of crazy in most people's eyes. But, I mean, I had Trag in my hand. I thought, okay, I can go for this. I can do this. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say it now, but I actually ram Pulsar into BLS just to get Dark Flare. And yeah, I am that kind of an extremist duelist. I will do stuff like that. So, Pulsar's effect, I got Dark Flare. Then, in attack mode, I wanted to go defense, but I was like, no, anything could run over it in defense mode. So, main phase 2. I activated its effect. I discarded my second Apocryph. Sent Wyvern to the graveyard, and then I opted to banish his Iron Chain. For those of you wondering, this is a post-duel recording. I'm just going over the thoughts I had at the time. It was actually too noisy where I was recording, so I had to redo the recording, but yeah. So, Wyvern's effect then activates, and I banish Dark Arm Dragon, of course. And as you can see, well, the third card would have been Judgment Dragon, but I only run 4 different Light Sworns in this deck, and there was a very slim chance I'd be able to mill the 4th Light Sworn in the next few turns. With 3,500 life points left, that's very, very little chance. So, so I have my graveyard set up for that. Dark Arm Dragon. He could have just attacked both Apocryph and Dark Flare. However, he chose to banish DDA instead. So I drew Judgment Dragon, which was actually kind of useless because again, I only had 3 different life points in the graveyard, so that was like, that's so sucky. But you know what? I said, you know what? Fine, that's fine. Judgment Dragon is also a dragon, so